Your radio is currently tuned in over Southeastern's Mako Radio broadcasting on WKPX 88.5 FM Sunrise. Welcome to episode 7 Inside the Tank presented by Quarterdeck. I'm your host Josh Raphael. Let's kick things off tonight with our first guest, head coach for the women's golf team Heather Wall, and student athlete Yari Delgado. How you guys doing?
Hi, we're great. How are you?
It's good to have you guys. So coach, we're going to kind of kick it off with you. Kind of talk to us how you got into your coaching career.
It's kind of funny. After I graduated from Florida Southern, and played a little pro. I thought I wanted to work at a golf course and give lessons, run tournaments, all that kind of stuff. So I actually moved to Arkansas, got a job there in a pro shop. Decided I didn't really like it. I was just stuck behind a counter all day. And actually, two of the cart boys at the golf course went to a little school called Arkansas Monticello, and they were like, I think you'd be a great coach. So I applied, I got the job. It was my first coaching job. I was the men and women's coach there for 5 years before moving back to Florida and becoming Nova's women's golf coach. So that's how I got into it.
And I don't think a lot of people know the decorated playing career that you had. I mean, you're in the Hall of Fame at Florida Southern. You've had quite the playing career. So kind of talk to us a little bit about how your very successful playing career has helped you as a coach today.
I think it's helped a lot because I can definitely relate to the players. I know how hard you need to work to be successful, and I also know how hard it is to go to class, balance your time, go to workouts. A lot of things are asked of a student athlete, so I completely relate to all that, and I do know a lot about the game. I still play myself, so I think it made me just being able to relate to them and know exactly what they're going through from freshman year all the way to sophomore year and junior year and senior year, and something I really, really enjoy.
And Yari, being new to the team this year, how's the transition been coming to NSU?
Yeah, well, coming from a full-time golf academy up in Port St. Lucie, I kind of experienced a little bit of what I would be looking for in the college golf life and all that. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit rough at the start. I came in senior year with already all my credits for college. I was doing college courses. I mean, I was way ahead of the game, and then I come to college. I go to college, it's like, whoa, like I actually have to balance both things out. But I sort of, still am trying to figure it out still, but I feel like I'm already at the point where I'm able to manage both very well, and thanks to coach and the team for being great examples to me, I've been able to do so.
And what kind of led to you picking NSU as your school choice?
Yeah. So I did have a few options here and there. I first picked NSU because of dentistry, but then you get to know the team, and it's contagious. Like the amount of competition and support we have on the team. I mean, the girls, they're out there grinding every day, in and out of the course, academically, physically, and with golf. So I feel like being around that environment and coach pushing us every day to be the best version of ourselves we could be, and having the we me mentality has very impacted my life in everything, not just the sport.
And coach, your first year at NSU, you guys won the SSC tournament and have continuously been a top contender every single year. How have you guys been able to hold a sharp standard and keep the success with different teams year in and year out?
Well, I think a lot of that goes to our NSU athletic department, for real. We have so many great people that are behind the scenes, the fellow coaches, the coaching staff, the people in the gym and conditioning, strength and conditioning, academic department, everything. And we've set a really high standard pretty much for all of our sports in general. Our student athletes work really hard in the classroom and out and doing their sport, and just like we have a really high standard. We won 4 national championships, but the girls that bring in know like about our culture and how we want to build daily disciplines day in and day out, and we want to win. So we're competitive, and we stay hungry, and they know what's expected of them, and I think just a lot has to be said about NSU athletics as a whole. It's a great place.
And you already mentioned a bit her adjustment period coming here to NSU. Kind of tell us a little bit about how the veteran golfers help the newcomers adjust this season. Coach.
Oh, sorry. They've been great. We've got a great group of 8 girls. That range from freshmen all the way to fifth-year seniors, and the way that I think that they've bonded this whole year since from August up until now has just been really incredible. They've taken them under their wing. We all kind of learn from each other each day at practice, even outside the course. We do things together. They hang out. We have team dinners, all that kind of stuff, and it's been really special to just kind of look back and see how they've really stepped up as leaders, and like I said, it's been a great year for all of us.
And you've also kind of had a bit of a decorated high school career as well. Kind of talk to us about that feeling when you placed third at the 2023 Junior PGA Championship.
Yeah, well, honestly, I wasn't very happy with my results. I was leading throughout the first 2 days, and I knew I could have done way better, but, I decided to just come in the third day and, just close it off how I am. Even though it wasn't first, it was an honor to be there in the first place and qualify for that event. I mean, it's just a year full of hard work to qualify for it, and just being there and be able to make it top 3 with such amazing players that, they work just as hard as I do, and, we're competing there, and it's good sportsmanship as well as, good to know people that they work for what they want, and overall it was so special, and I'll never forget it. It's definitely a core memory.
And having so much success in high school, and now you're coming to NSU, kind of tell me about some goals that you kind of set out for yourself this season, at least coming into this season.
Yeah, I would say my scoring average. I feel like I'm a late bloomer. I've only been playing competitive golf for 3 years, and I feel like, I've always felt like I need to work double as hard as everyone else. Every girl I've played with, they're like, oh, I started when I was 3 years old, and I'm like, well, I kind of started at 14, so I felt like I've always have to be ahead of the game, practice more hours, and, learn more about the game, the rules every day, so I'm not, I don't want to seem like I don't know anything, but I feel like that itself has been such a fun part of me as a person. I feel like I could do anything I put my mind to, and I've learned that through golf or anything I do in life. I know if I commit to it, I can make it happen.
Yeah, and you say you're a late bloomer and you started at 14. So what made you decide to start playing golf?
Yeah, well, my dad started playing it for fun when I was born. I grew up watching it, but I didn't like it at first. I chose dance, of course, like every little girl, they do, I'm going to do dance. But then I found out my high school in Miami, Divine Savior Academy, they had a golf team. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try out, so why not? And I made the team, and it just started from there. I started off as varsity golf, and I was consistently getting better each time, every tournament, and I'm like, I really like this. So during COVID, it's, the only thing I can do is golf, because every other sport is physical contact, and COVID is, during COVID, golf is, 6 feet apart, and that's already, in golf there's no physical contact, it's just you and the game. So, when I started playing in 2021, and I just loved it, playing not just for varsity golf, but, just junior golf, that I got to meet so many people from all over, and it was just a fun experience overall, and there's where I decided I wanted to pursue college golf.
And Coach, last year your team had quite the season. After being national runner-ups, what were some goals and adjustments that you had for the team coming into this season?
Well, we were definitely, we were really proud of the way we finished last year. I was, for sure. And then we had a really good group of girls still that were returners that were at the tournament in Missouri when we finished runner-up, and I know that they let that fuel them coming into this year as well, and we definitely want to win the whole thing, but we just taking it day by day, and we just got back from conference, and that was a good tournament for us, so we'll get ready and we'll prepare for regionals, which are in a couple weeks, but yeah, we're ready and we're hungry, and the girls are putting in all the work that they need to, and it's been a really fun year.
Yeah, and obviously last year, Olivia Bromberg really helped with that success. She's no longer at NSU. So how would you say your girls have kind of stepped up to kind of replace her absence?
Yeah, tremendously. We have a player, Hannah Mitterberger, who didn't really play that much last year, and she's been a consistent starter this year, shooting close to par almost every round she plays. Erin Anderson as well has won 2 tournaments already this year. Ellen Ramstead also is shot a 66 this year, consistently getting in the top 10s, and so yeah, they've really stepped up, and their work ethic is great, and they're really hungry and competing together, like as a team, as one. So it's just really nice to sit back and watch.
And Yari, what improvements have you made throughout the season up to this point?
I would say just mentality. I mean, just focusing on my mental game more. I feel like whenever I focus on my mental game, just everything else just follows, and it just correlates to everything. And again, being part of such a competitive team where I have these seniors that they're such good role models to me. Every time I look at them practice and how strong they are, I'm like, wow, I want to be like that when I'm a senior. And I feel like that's what that's what Coach wants, and I know that both her and I are super proud and happy for them because they have had such a great season throughout the years, and I look forward to being that way as well.
And what would you say you're looking forward to the most as you and your team head into a harder postseason play?
I would say just leave a mark in whatever way possible. I'm the type that when I step into a place, I don't want to be just walk through. I want to be known for something. So I feel like as a late bloomer, I want to show little girls or just anyone who wants to pursue college golf or professional golf in any sport really that they could do anything as long as they put the work for it.
And Coach, finally, is there any type of message that you want to leave for your team as you guys kind of head into the regional tournament?
Just that I love them and I'm proud of them, and let's go win a championship.
Well, Heather, Yari, thank you guys for coming on, and thank you for Quarterdeck for allowing us to host our episode. We'll be back shortly with our second and final guest. Welcome back to Inside the Tank, presented by Quarterdeck. I'm here with head women's tennis coach Doug Neagle and shark athlete Natalie Espinal. How you guys doing?
Hello.
How are you? Good. Thanks for having us. No problem, Coach. So we'll kick it off with you. Kind of talk to us a little about your coaching journey and kind of how it led to you coming here to NSU.
Interesting enough, I used to coach at Towson University in Baltimore, Maryland, and we played Nova Southeastern 4 times, and we would come down every spring break, and we would typically play Nova Southeastern, we would play FAU, and we played a couple other teams, and we went 2-2 against NSU when we were at that last school. But I actually met Mike Momini at that time. He reached out to me and was asking me if I knew anybody that would be interested in this job open, and I said, "You ever thought about me?" But I remember I was coaching down there. My brother was a volunteer coach for me at that time. We were down there, we were coaching, and I said, this would be an amazing place to coach at. I mean, just look at this weather, but also I knew they had the resources. I really liked what the athletic department was doing, and then I never thought 5-6 years later, whatever that was, that I'd be down there, and here I am, 8 years later.
And Natalie, as an international student, how did you find NSU, and how was the adjustment coming to Florida?
I found about NSU because my friend Dani, she was on the team the year before I came to NSU. So I wasn't sure about if I was going to do college tennis, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to still be playing tennis. I don't know if my English is good enough to go to another country. But then Danny talked to Coach, and then Coach contacted me, and he was like, do you want to come in for a visit? And I was like, sure, why not? And then, yes, I came in for a visit, and I met the team, I met the school, I met campus and everything, and I was like, this is nice. So why not give it a try? So by the end of my visit, I was like, yeah, I'm signing in. Like, I'm all in. This is nice, yeah.
Yeah, and can I add to that? It's funny because Danny, her friend, and I were driving her back to the airport, and I'm trying not to put the press on her and put pressure on her, and I'm like, I said, I'll give you a couple weeks to think about this. We'd love to have you, and I'm giving my whole spiel and all the great things about her, and she just goes, I'm coming. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So we have Danny Orlando a lot for getting this girl here.
And last year, you guys had quite the success. Kind of talk to us a little bit about last season's postseason run and what attributed to that success.
It was a lot of hard work by these ladies. They all bought in. I mean, they worked harder as the year went. And I think one of the key things for us last year was our health. That was the longest run and the longest season I've ever had in all my coaching years, not even just here. And it was the healthiest that our team has ever been, which ironically, if that's what you should say, that's the furthest one you'd think would be the most beat up. But that's a big credit to Dustin Gatens. He's our head athletic trainer, but he's also our team trainer. We're so lucky to have him. But he was so great with these ladies, and so was our strength and conditioning coach, Alex. So it's a lot of credit to those guys, but most of the credit goes to the ladies on the team, because they all just bought in. Like, they kept it loose, but at the same time they had fun. But at the same time they worked hard.
Yeah. And Coach, obviously, now who's been here for the past 5 years, she's been a crucial part, of the team's success. How has her veteran status helped the team over the years?
She'll probably be the only tennis player ever at NSU to play 6 seasons. It's not really 6 seasons. It was a COVID season, and then the next year was a shortened season again. So she was able to play 6 years here. But her, just as you said, her veteran leadership has just been outstanding. Like, she's such a quiet leader. Like, I always say, let your actions speak louder than your words, and that's exactly what she does. She doesn't even have to scream and yell at her team. Everybody watches the way she goes about her business, and especially when she's actually competing in the matches. Like, she'll hit the most ridiculous shot, and she's so humble about it, and it's just so genuine. And there's just a sense of calming to her. One perfect example is her teammate Leanne this year. Natalie was really sick, and she stepped up and won her doubles, and everyone thought she wasn't going to play singles, and she said, I'm going to give it a go. And Leanne just was like, oh my, thank God, because I'm just so much calmer when Natalie's on the court. And that's just the effect that she has on the team.
Yeah, and Coach talks about how humble you are, so I'm going to boost you up a little bit. Your freshman year, you were the ITA Rookie of the Year and the SSC Freshman of the Year. Kind of tell me about how that affected you, especially with you just being 17 that year.
When they named me the Rookie of the Year and everything, I was just 17. I was like, I didn't know how big of a deal was or is. So I was like, it's not a big deal. I'm just I was happy, of course. But now that this is my senior year, my last year, and I look back and I was like, wow, I was just 17, and they named me Rookie of the Year, and I was like, the Sunshine State Conference Athlete of the Year. I was like, that's big. That's something to be proud of, and I am.
Yeah, and you were one of the few athletes that were here pre-COVID and post-COVID. Yeah. So, how did you continue to improve your game and your skill set when the season got shut down so abruptly?
It was hard. It was hard because we were at national indoors. It was our first year at nationals, and I think we lost in semis that year. But we were like, it's okay. Like, we're doing good. Like, we have a big chance this year. And then when we came back to campus, 3 days after, we were locked down. Like, we can't do anything. We're gonna shut down season. I was like, there's no way, there's half of the season is missing, and then, I couldn't fly home, so that was a big part for me, because I have to stay here, far from my family, so that was hard. But then after season, we came back, and then I was just pumped up, I want to play, I still want to play, so. And the girls from the team too, so that helped me a lot.
Yeah, and Coach, you have lost quite a few players, and you got a lot of new faces. Kind of talk to us about these new faces, and kind of who we should, I don't want to say watch out for, but who we should learn a little bit more about.
Yeah, we lost 5 out of our 6 starters from last year. That is no easy task to come back from just in our conference, let alone trying to get out of regionals and everything. But this team has come together with a couple girls here in the crowd right now, Julia and Freya. All these new faces, it's just incredible because they just stepped in and it was almost like we just picked up right off from where we left, and they weren't even on the team last year. They bought into our kind of loose, fun. I don't want tennis ever to feel like a burden, and they grasp onto that, but they just work hard. I give them different options sometimes when they stay, and they end up working on things anyway, on the all on their own without even me telling them to do it. That's just a sign of a great team. But there's so many. I mean, every single player, whether they're number 1 or number 9, just plays such an important role on our team, and all of these new faces. It's just incredible where we are right now. Let's just hope we can keep it going.
Yeah, and kind of talk to us a little about some goals that you set out for this team coming into this year.
Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, even in my early years here, we were, like, we want to beat this team. We want this many wins. We want to win conference. We want to do this. And we've kind of just stuck with it. It sounds so cliche, but just, like, get better every day. Don't circle match. I know they do circle matches, because I would too as a player. But, don't really focus on that and just get better, have fun, keep it loose, support each other, challenge each other, and then the results and everything just, they end up coming naturally.
Yeah, and now that I'm going to boost you up a little bit more, you won the ITA Doubles National Championship with Freya Davies, I believe.
Yep.
So kind of talk to me about, how that felt to do that.
This was my 3rd national championship doubles.
Don't be so humble. It is your 3rd.
Well, you feel like I was playing. I was like, I'm just going to have fun. This is my last year. Like, of course I want to win. But at the same time, it's like, I just want to have fun. And then we kept winning. And it just felt like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be my 3rd one. And it will be back to back because I won it last year too with Fatia. And then it felt like unreal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, at the same time, like I've been like working hard at the same time, so I was like, okay, like it's like it is real. Yeah. So I feel like I really enjoyed it. That title.
You know what's amazing too? She's so humble. It's hard for her to talk about it, but she did it 3 times with 3 different partners. Yeah, and that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And her partner sitting out there is pretty good though too.
Do you ever feel a sense of pressure? I mean, like again, this is your 3rd one. And obviously you want to hold that, standard. So do you ever feel any pressure, or are you just out there just having fun with it?
This year for ITA regionals and for nationals, I was like, yeah, because it's my last year. Like I want to finish with the right foot. Yeah, I kind of feel like a little bit of pressure, like me putting for myself, because I was like, I want to finish this right. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like if I put too much pressure on myself, like I'm not going to enjoy it, and I'm going to end up playing not the way I want. So I'll be like, I just have fun. And then, I mean, my doubles partners, like they help me a lot too. My teammates too, like have fun. And like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Yeah. So.
And, last year you guys kind of fell short of a national championship. So what are some goals that you have moving into the postseason this year?
Well, we want to win the whole thing. Yep. but yeah, as I said, this is my last year. I really want to enjoy it with the girls. Like we have a special bond with everyone. So
they really do.
Yeah. So. For me, it's just like have fun and give it all on court, of course. So.
And again, you guys have seen quite the success this year already. Peaking at number 1 in the country this year. How can you talk about the success and kind of what led to that?
Same thing. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but these girls, they challenge and they support each other. And even in such an individual sport like ours, if you don't have that, you're not going to go far. And these girls, they really do care about each other. When a certain player's not in the lineup, they're not mad at their teammate. They're the first one at the fence cheering and clapping for them. And I think that's why we're having so much success. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And Natalie, we've talked about your career. We've boosted you up quite a bit. So what do you see yourself doing after you end this career?
Good question. But hopefully, like, stay around here at Davie, around Nova, because I would really love to, like, stay around and maybe help coach in the future. Like, I don't know, stay around the girls, because we have a special bond and everything, so why not stay around?
That's true. And Coach, finally, what message do you have for your team as you head into the heart of postseason play?
Keep doing what we're doing. Don't try to change anything drastically, and really listen to your bodies. Get in there to Dustin when you need to get in there. Get into Alex, put in that extra work. Whatever's going to get them ready individually the best. So that, I give them a lot of freedom, because I just have trust in them, that they're going to be mature. They're going to do what they need to do to get in there, to be ready.
Doug, Natalie. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Recorder Deck, for allowing us to host all our episodes this year, and this is going to be our final episode of Season 1. We will be back next year. Thank you again.